The Rome International Film Festival, located in Rome, Georgia, is a unique hub that offers a place for filmmakers and other forms of creative arts to shine. This independent, nonprofit organization works with local artists and filmmakers to create an incredible environment for storytellers around the world to share their works with the community. Because of its international connections, the festival not only accepts films from local communities as well as with people from all around the world. During the festival, downtown Rome comes to life as people from all around come to experience the variety of events that Riff has to offer. From panels, film screenings, and even late night after parties, celebrity guests and industry professionals arrive to talk about their work and provide information to aspiring filmmakers about the industry. Directors and producers show their movies in feature film screenings and talk about their process of the creation of the film. The festival also works alongside local schools to provide opportunities to get involved through volunteering, as well as young filmmaking competitions. This incredible festival provides an opportunity for young filmmakers to talk with industry professionals and make connections in the film world. The festival greatly benefits the community by bringing in people from all around who visit the many stores and restaurants in Rome between the events. It has benefited the film industry in Rome and created a diverse film culture within the community. The Rome International Film Festival allows for stories from all kinds of people to be shared, showing a diversity in culture, interest, ideals, and creativity.
Should we do a riff documentary?
I am okay with that because I love more than anything the power of a story. And films and digital media, that's what they are doing, is telling stories about our communal existence as humans. And that's what I want to do. And so the closer I can be to something like that, the happier I am. Impact is it's an event and it's also a group of people that really love creativity and really love great stories. And so the impact is when you find a kid that sees a story that reflects their experience and they feel more like themselves, that's a wonderful thing. When you see an issue that's being told with intelligence and verve on the screen, and people can also talk about that issue a little more freely once they've seen the film and it's affected them. That's another wonderful thing. It's also just great as an economic engine, as a thing to do on a Friday night. So Riff has a lot of really great qualities and a lot of really great facets to it, some that are far reaching and some that are just immediate and small, but all of them important. I want them to perceive that we are far more than just that sort of entertainment. We are fun, and nobody ever said they didn't need, fun in their lives. But I think that what we do too is we generate economic income for the city. We usually bring between $350 to $500,000 a year in one weekend to the downtown merchants of Rome, and that means people are staying, they're eating, they're shopping, they're just hanging out in Rome, and they're spending their little dollars to help improve our fabulous community. So that's a great thing. We're also important to students. We provide internships through the various colleges in town, and there are four fabulous ones, and we're involved with each one of them. We also provide students with the opportunity to meet and spend time with working professionals when we do the Georgia Highlands Student Film Academy. And that's really important too, because we have seen through surveys before and after, and this is to juniors and seniors in high school, by the way, in this region. That's who we do the Film Academy for. We have seen that they say, yes, I am more interested in a career in film. I think I could probably do it. I could see myself in this world, and that's super important. And then, we also want to be fun for the local people. I live in this town. I love to hear people say that they're definitely planning on being at Riff this year because it's one of the most fun events. I think Riff's story is told a million different ways by different people and their experiences. I want it to be told by the folks in our economic development team, that they see that we have been intentional and smart about building relationships both here locally and also with other regional groups. so that we are bringing business and interest and tourists here to our little town. I think that's very important. So, yes, I want to be seen as an economic driver. I also want to be seen as caring deeply about the community. And I think that's probably the most important thing, because if you care deeply about the people and the situations and the issues in your area, I think people can feel that. And so we do a lot of year round programming that helps us to delve into really tough things to talk about, things that have been difficult sometimes, like racism or literacy. And we see that with a film, which provides a good story in that area, people become a little bit more able to talk to one another. You can almost see them leaning in to one another and to the topic as they become emotionally involved during the film. And then when you start talking about it, people are much more free and easy and willing to listen to one another. And that, in my opinion, is magic. I'd like Riff to grow another 21 years. This is our 21st year, so you're an adult now, we like to say. I'd like to think that in 21 more years, maybe some young people that came as kids are in charge of Riff, and it's continuing to be a well known, well respected event slash film festival. Those are two separate but similar things. And I want us to be known as a fun place, as a serious place, as a place to meet if you're in the film industry or the digital media industry or whatever the latest creative way to tell stories about our human condition is. I want Riff to be seen as a playa, if you will, in that industry.
I'm Monica Shepard, and I own Cecil T's Mercantile on Broad Street. You can say mercantile or mercantile. Actually have been in the past, I'm not anymore, the graphic designer for the materials for Riff almost from the very beginning. And so I've been involved with the festival for a really long time. But then I joined the board and then became secretary of the board and spent 1 year as president of the board as well. So I have always loved this event for the opportunity for local people to get a window on the world that they might not otherwise experience. I've always struggled with the fact that I feel like people don't recognize the opportunity that it offers. It's just such an incredible inspiration for me. Every year there are films that inspire me for how I see the world and how I see the people around me. Riff is a grassroots effort that I feel does a tremendous job of, as I said, introducing people to the world around them, but also introducing the world to Rome. We always have people come from all over the place who leave loving our town. And so I think it's important to include that side of the story, the amount of influence that that event has had on people's perspective on Rome.
My name is Jesse Bishop. I am currently the Chief Experience Officer here at the Rome Floyd YMCA. I first got involved with Riff probably the second year or so that the Musselwhites were involved. Laura Musselwhite and I worked together at GHC, and I ended up volunteering and volunteered for a couple of years and then took a break. And when Seth took over and they brought him in, we ran into one another in the hall because we worked together at Georgia Highlands. And he said, "Hey, I want you to come be part of the festival." And that was that. And next thing I knew, I was, on the board and then vice president and yeah, past president and still hanging around. Riff means culture, it means arts, it means community. That's one of my favorite things about Riff is the community. I've had the chance over the years to get to meet so many really awesome people, folks that I would not have encountered otherwise, that come here to Rome. I've been able to go other places and interact with these folks because of Riff. And I think, sometimes we overlook that in the community and we don't realize how valuable it is to have folks come to our community, spend their time, spend their money, but also bring their culture and their ideas and their art with them and just be in community with one another. I would want other people to see Riff as a bunch of stories contributing to one story, right? All of these little films, all of these little filmmaker narratives and their life stories coming together, right? Kind of a confluence, kind of like the rivers here in Rome, right? We bring all of these things together and then it tells this one story of being human, right? The emotions that we have, right? The struggles that we have, the conflicts that we face and how we overcome those. There's some really great storytelling, and that's really the art of filmmaking, right? And bringing that to Rome, that's the image, right? It's just a storytelling organization. I'd want it to be told by other folks, right? I love watching all of the different narratives come together. I love watching all of the different folks come together. Over the years, we've had people meet one another at Riff and go on to make really awesome films, and some big budget films as well. That's the way I'd like for that story to be told, right? It's Riff is in the background, kind of like a camera, right? And it's watching and it's bringing people together. It's framing things in a particular way. And I think that's what makes it unique. It's, part destination festival, part local festival, but bringing all of that together is the way that that story gets told.
What I've loved about Rome is coming up here and seeing art that I don't have access to any other place. Like I've been on the documentary board a few years, and the documentaries that I've been able to watch and the stories that I've heard here are stories that you cannot find them anywhere else. And meeting these people that are coming up and telling their experience, it's lovely.
I think besides just the appreciation for filmmakers and giving them a platform to show their creations, because a lot of these films we won't see. This is the only place that you can see them. So besides just giving that appreciation, because it's hard, making a movie is hard, and having a place where you can showcase your work. Um, Besides that, it's just what art gives a community, I think, is something that nothing else can give a community. And when you come up here for Riff and the whole entire town is out amongst the filmmakers, appreciating these things that people have created, it brings a community together. Art brings a community together like nothing else. Art is special. It should be appreciated more. And that's why I appreciate Riff so much. Because you come up here, it's got a great program, great films, documentaries, shorts, animated, people from all over the world. It really is an international film festival. And I think it's just, right now, it's still growing. It hasn't really even reached what it will eventually be.
The reason we got involved with Riff was fully because of Seth and the Georgia Highlands Film Program. We would not be here today if it was not for him. He's helped us tremendously just by teaching us and now getting us into this festival, getting us careers. He's truly done an amazing job.
This was the very first festival that I have ever been to, the first festival that I volunteered at, first festival that I attended as a filmmaker. So it did give me a lot of, I want to say, experience for other festivals that I've been to, and it was really fun and made me excited for more opportunities to come in the future.
Riff has been a fantastic networking opportunity for me and everyone else that I've met. You're able to come here and meet fantastic people with amazing minds and people who are able to get you work as well. It's truly amazing. Riff is a super fun festival. Everyone's always super nice. The parties are fantastic. The food is great. Everyone's always so energetic. The films are wonderful. All right. Once again, people are wonderful. I mentioned that twice. It's truly just super fun. It's super fun. I come here every year now. Um, whether I'm close by, whether it's an inconvenience or not, I will always be here every single year.
Yeah, same here. It's very fun. I enjoy it every single year, and I just recommend it for every filmmaker who's even starting out or a filmmaker who's been doing this for years. It's just a great festival to be at.
I come to Riff because I enjoy just being around artistic people. Um, the film and television industry is always so unique and so creative and kind of quirky that it's just fun to be around those creative individuals. Plus, it's really fun to see unique artwork that's being created by students, by seasoned veterans, and just kind of get to immerse yourself in that and see a little bit of everything that's going on in this industry. I think the Riff impact, just from a creative standpoint, is huge. There's film festivals all over the world, but this is a unique film festival that is in a smaller community that gives people an opportunity to submit films and shorts and documentaries and a little bit of everything. And maybe not have to jump through as many hoops as like a Sundance or a Tribeca or Cannes or anything like that. So it gives really unique creative individuals an opportunity to submit their artwork. Um, Again, I think the impact of Riff to Rome specifically is hugely impactful from an economic standpoint because again, I think there's a lot of things that people don't understand about the film and television industry. It's not just the actors and all of the big fanfare. It trickles down. It's drivers, it's the hotels, it's the restaurants, it's the downtown businesses, it's individuals that do hair and makeup. It's a very much a trickle down industry, and it's hugely impactful for communities like Rome, Georgia. I think the best way for others to perceive Riff is as a unique opportunity in a small community. But they've done the Riff board, Seth in particular, has done such an amazing job cultivating artists, cultivating students, cultivating friendships to bring a really unique experience to a community like Rome that may not have, or smaller communities that may not have an opportunity like this. I think Seth in particular has done a really good job of making this a huge festival that we should all feel very special about here in Rome. There's already evidence of how amazing Riff is. I mean, we're already seeing the impact of having a festival like this. I mean, we've got Stranger Things coming here. We've got houses in the community being used for movies. We've got our downtown Rome being used for films. I think the impact of Riff on Rome has been unbelievable.
I got involved with Riff after meeting a friend of mine who introduced me to Leanne Cook, who is the director of this film festival. And Leanne just is so passionate about this, and it's so important to this community. So I really wanted to be a part of it and just help, bring in people if I could and just support the film festival. I came to the film festival this year to speak on a panel about my podcast and also just to support the other arts. I'll be going to a premiere of a movie and doing a couple of other events. So it's right in my backyard, and I just really wanted to get involved with it. I would love to see a lot of people from all over, from LA, New York, and even internationally come to know this film festival as a place where they'd like to showcase their work, because it's a small town, but it's a very artsy, creative town, and I think it makes the perfect place for a film festival.
The Rome Film Festival was an opportunity that I didn't know I was a part of until Ogbar, our director from the Hummingbrows, mentioned that they were really highlighting Latinos, and that is not often heard of in the film industry. So I was really excited that they had created this opportunity for that minority group to shine, and I was all about showing up and being a part of it. I think that Riff is opening up a lot of doors for people in film that feel like they may not have a community. And I think that it's doing a great job at also connecting us so that we can do things outside of Riff. I would love if they saw how caring and lovely the community is in accepting anyone and everyone and showing them that here, their voice, their story, their film matters. I would love if it got told in a light that brought awareness to all the departments that are involved, all the groups that are involved. The people that are behind the camera should be just as intentional as the person that is in front of the camera, that the writers that come from different groups, nationalities, and cultures get to tell those stories, because somebody out there will find it and feel heard and seen. And Rome Film Festival should be seen as somebody that is paving that pathway for those to be heard and connected with.
I think it's really important that people realize that great storytelling can come from anywhere. And I believe that there's an authenticity here in Georgia, particularly in Rome, where people come to really tell their own stories, not from an elevated place, but from a really authentic place. And I think that there's going to be kind of a fresh sense of storytelling coming from here. You know, tonight we saw Bob Trevino likes it, and I think what resonated with people is the honesty and the power of a great story. This was not a big budget film. This was just beautiful storytelling. And so I think that that can happen here. I think that it resonated with audiences because great stories are important. Great stories stay with us. So I think that's going to happen here, and it already is, because just the response from all the filmmakers and the aspiring artists that were in the audience, I could tell that something's being stirred up here. It's exciting.
I think it's really important, especially uh, in in smaller communities or in places that aren't exactly fully just known for art. Like in LA, there's abundance of it. In New York, or even Austin with South by Southwest or Nashville. But I think that these smaller footholds are really important because it gives voice to local people, and they may not feel like their stories are represented in the way that they're used to hearing them or the way that they want to hear them. And it gives you a new flavor because America's a big place. And so it's nice to hear different people and different points of view and sort of open yourself up to something new. I think it's a festival that's welcoming to artists, and it doesn't feel so overwhelming and huge. It feels personal. like a handwritten letter. You don't do that anymore. But when you get one, it's like, oh, this is so nice. It's so personal. And so I think that's what it is. Riff is like a nice quality handwritten letter.
I'm hoping the same way I do, and so all I can do is spread the word about it and tell them about my experiences, and it's a real thing. I'm not just floating this because, you know, festivals. I mean, there's so many film festivals now. There's few that stand out like this one, um, and I mean that in a way that the programmers know what filmmakers like and how they respond to it, and what gets them excited about it. And so it goes into the whole programming team as well, and volunteers, and so it's something that at least the best I can do is spread the word about it. You can have the biggest film festivals in the world, and that festival doesn't penetrate the city. It cares about filmmakers, but they have so many things going on that it's not as personalized as some of the smaller ones can be. And you can have a smaller one and they still don't know how to do that right. So it's, you know, all I can do is brag about it, and how they're doing it really right here.
The movie Bang Bang, in which I appear, was playing, and I came here to support that. And then they also gave me the Flannery O'Connor Storytelling Award, and I have always idolized her. She had a big influence on me, and so for two reasons I came down here. There are fewer and fewer opportunities for people to see art films in movie theaters. And festivals have become the venue for that, because they show them in movie theaters to strangers in the dark, 14 feet high with great sound, the way that those of us who spend our lives making movies want them to be seen. And at festivals, you're ensured the opportunity that your movie is going to be seen there. As a jewel of a regional festival in the United States. And I think if Riff keeps on doing what it's doing, it could be the Sundance of the South. As a festival that was curated from the get-go based on quality, and a zeal for art films that grew and grew because it stayed true to what it was.
I had a friend named Rambling Bob. He used to steal, gamble, and rob. He thought he was the smartest guy around. Well, I found out last Monday that Bob got locked up Sunday. They've got him in the jailhouse way downtown. He's in the jailhouse now. He's in the jailhouse now. But I told him once or twice to stop playing